So you can dance left and right. You can cross it easily on the map. Yeah. Like here, this A5, the Roman road, all the way to Holyhead. It was along the way. Here's only part of it was nothing, and then it started to become something.
So we know that the Kingsgate Community Centre has been closed since a long time now, and we think that a community space in which we can all share stories, but also do something for ourselves.
With this project, it's a possible future.
And one of the things that we thought is that Kilburn used to have a huge identity as a place, as a neighborhood, but because of the many different reasons, it really lacks a little bit of identity today. But if everyone on the high street, everyone in Kilburn could see really what Kilburn is made of, they would be much more connected to the place and they would take much more care.
Mummy's sheep, and Mummy did all this artwork.
That's correct. Helen, my wife, is part of Electronic Sheep, which is art come fashion label. They started out doing fashion. The pieces had meaning, stories. They did this thing for Brent Council, which is a tapestry of 3 stories. It's very big. It's going to be in the Kiln in March. You'll see it. And it's basically a history of the Irish experience in Kilburn, the surrounding area.
And the music.
It's got musicians who played in the area. It's got Vince Power, who runs the fiddler, who did have the main fiddler, who was the biggest music promoter in Europe.
You probably recognize her, but here she is.
Myself and a bunch of colleagues house just up the road, and we used to play music to each other, and just kind of do a workshop. I'm a guitar player, by the way, and I'm Steve, and it just reminds me of musical times here a long time ago. But it does go on and on and on.
I always heard that John Coltrane played. That's the only place he played in Europe, and I thought it's just like a myth in the state, the government state. And I actually met someone who 2-3 weeks ago who actually been to that gig, and Dizzy Gillespie was the support act, and it's the only place they played in Europe. And I thought, if that's kind of like the image of Europe of John Coltrane, is the Kilburn High Road, because that's the only place he actually performed, and it means a lot. And it was such a center of music, and I know that you've seen some bands that are around here as well.
But if you have bigger venues, and they're all gone now, so that's a shame.
Yeah,
because music brings people together. That's really what music does. And there's less and less of it, which is not centralized like.
Because he talks about the Irish, he talks about the excitement, the energy, so yes, some exciting stuff happening with the writers.
But one of Prince's plays was made into a film and shot around the corner in Bromsgrove.
Lockdown happened. I was pretty much lived by myself in my own room because I'm from China and there is a zero COVID policy. So since I moved here, I haven't got a chance to go back. When I put them together, it gives me an image of I meet myself underneath a pantry. I begin to build a connection with me and the high road. It becomes an anchor of my life here. And this is my favorite chicken cottage. There used to be only one, now there's 2 side by side, which I don't quite understand, but I love them. So everything is based on a picture I took of Kilburn High Road, or a picture of my life back then when I live here by myself.
And in clearing the rubbish in the garden, I found various things, and these are obviously take us back a good century or 2. I assume certainly this looks like it must be a little angel's hand. They just sat around on the mantelpiece
ever since I dug them up in the early 1970s. So I hope that what becomes from this is that looking at these things mainly from the past, we use them to give what's going to happen in the future with a lot of hope and a lot of joy.
And the plan is to then, through another workshop next week, decide how do we want this idea of the museum to go with. And the final thing would be to organize an exhibition in June along the high road, using existing shops as like sort of a distributed museum. And that's also to try to connect with people that are not here.